Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. College football rankings. The last stand. I think we should call it that. The last stand. Because this really is kind of Noah. The last stand. But with that being said, I'm the
Brofect1.
Yeah, on the rankings at least. Not the last stand for the teams. We got some games to still be played, obviously. But hey, let's get into it, Noah. I'm the Brofect1 That is the Money Train, the man with the numbers, sports college basketball guru, Daddy of the Diamond, all hail the king of the links, Mr. Noah Engelbretson. Noah, it's been a minute. How you doing, bud? We haven't talked to each other in a while, dude. I was sick last week, so I could not record as I did not have a voice. But how you been, bro? How's the gambling been?
Fantastic. And AJ, I can tell you what I have to tell you, not what I can tell you. What I need to tell you is I am super stoked. Since our last recording, the Rose Bowl has, finally come to terms.
Finally.
They allowed it to happen. 2024, we are going to have the 12-team playoff.
Woo!
It's going to be so great.
Hell yeah.
It would have been great. Would have been great this year. I don't know if you saw the what it would have looked like this year, but obviously you got the top 4 ranked conference champions. This year would have put Utah in at the 4 seed. TCU would have been slipped down to the 5 seed if it was in the 12-team format. Because they didn't win the championship. They would have gotten the 5 seed, gotten to play Tulane in the first round. Winner of that game would have played Utah. I think a TCU-Utah game would be really, really good.
So good.
Also, some notable matchups if we had the 12-team format this year. Ohio State, Penn State would have been playing. Clemson would have gotten the 3 seed. Winner of Ohio State, Penn State would get to play Clemson, who I think either Ohio State or Penn State would have had a really good shot at beating Clemson. Moving on. If I remember correctly, Michigan would have played the winner of Alabama USC, which Alabama would blow the brakes off of USC. Yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, I don't know if you do, you don't, but I tweeted
out anyway.
On my main Twitter, tweeted out a whole big ass thing about how USC sucks, and the fact that people thought that they should have been in the playoff is ridiculous. Because
fuck you. It was not ridiculous. No, we had a solid argument.
AJ,
until we lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship.
We are you a USC fan now?
No, I'm not a USC fan, but I was a proponent of USC. So I was throwing out the we, okay? I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm bear down, go Cats, okay? I told this one woman during U of A ASU game to fuck off mid-game. So believe me, I'm still a U of A.
I have 2 points on USC. And it should only be A. I don't even need a second point. They had the 102nd ranked defense this year.
Yes.
You do not deserve to be a college football playoff team with the 102nd ranked defense. You had to scroll to page 3 of the defensive rankings to find USC. That's terrible. And the fact, and my point B is they struggled to put away Arizona, and any team that struggles to put away Arizona does not belong in the college football playoff. Because if we play Georgia, Michigan, or Alabama, or even TCU, we can keep that close. But Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Arizona's losing that game by 30, despite how good our offense is. The fact that USC struggled to put us away, it was a joke that they were even there. But we're not focused on them. We're focused on the top 4 teams here. We have our college football playoff. We have our bowl games.
Bro, we have everything, and we will be coming out with our picks for the college bowl games later this week, and we will dive deep into each and every one of those matchups. But let's just talk about the top 4 because this is Selection Sunday, brother. It is what we've been waiting for all college football season. I honestly can't believe we're already here. I can't believe it, bro. It's been a minute. I thought we had another 2 weeks, 3 weeks college football. We do technically, but not a regular season. And so here we go. You ready for the top 4, Noah? It's already been revealed. Our people already know it. We're here to just talk about which one's going to win. You ready for it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number one, you got Georgia. Number two, you got Michigan. Number three, TCU. And squeaking in there at number four is the Ohio State. Now, Noah, I want to give my initial thoughts on this because initial thoughts, no other team could have been number four. There's not another team when you look at the college football rankings that should have been number four.
That's not true.
Alabama should not have been number four. Tennessee should have not been number four. Clemson should have been number four. Utah sure as hell should have not been number four. Ohio State is the only team that not only earned number four, but deserves to be number four with their only loss being to number two, Michigan. And
well, they didn't. I'm gonna cut you off right there, AJ.
Go ahead.
I don't think they deserved number four. They got number four.
Deserves that. You're telling me there's another team in the rankings that deserves number four over Ohio State?
Maybe. I'm not saying they do or they don't, but I'm saying Ohio State. I'm saying Ohio State.
What team do you think should be in number four then?
I'm getting to it. I'm just saying Ohio State played a cupcake-ass schedule and then got blown out by 23 points to Michigan at home. At the shoe. So when you're weighing Ohio State or Alabama, I'm not saying either one should or should not have been in there, but I'm saying Nick Saban, not a great look with him, going on at halftime and basically begging Alabama's case.
Terrible look.
But on the other hand, he was not wrong when he was talking about, he's like, okay, so you look at us, Alabama, and are we going to be favored or underdogs in whatever game that's being played? We're probably going to be a favorite against any of these teams. Not wrong there. Talking about these other teams that Alabama's fighting for position with and saying, yeah, they're probably going to be underdogs. Not wrong there either. And, my biggest thing, and I've been all over Twitter watching all of this and seeing what's going on. The biggest one that resonated with me, I don't remember who tweeted it, but somebody was like, they were like, is Alabama a better team than Ohio State and Tennessee and TCU even and all these other teams? Yes. Did Alabama earn their way into did they earn their spot in the college football playoff?
No.
And I think that is the perfect summation of it. Yes, Alabama is better than any team other than probably Georgia and maybe Michigan. Did they earn their spot in the playoff? No, they didn't. They lost 2 games by a combined 4 points on the final drive of each game, but they still lost those games. And I've been saying it, AJ. I've been saying it. Alabama probably shouldn't have lost either of those games. They could very well be undefeated. Could have very well been a Georgia-Alabama. And I'm pissed that it was not a Georgia-Alabama, both teams undefeated SEC championship, because that would have been so fun to watch on Saturday afternoon. We didn't get that because Alabama had to go and accidentally lose 2 games. But, we're stuck with what we are. Alabama didn't make it. I was waiting because if I had a vote, I wouldn't have taken TCU out of the top 4. But I would be. It would be a coin flip for me for Alabama versus Ohio State. Like, I do think Alabama's a better team than Ohio State, but Ohio State only has 1 loss. Bama has 2. The people who are arguing for Tennessee, though, like, let's throw that out. Let's throw that out.
They are off
because
their rocker.
The head-to-head does not matter because Bama missed a field goal against Tennessee that would have been the game winner, and then Tennessee hits the game-winning field goal. The refs kind of screwed them in the LSU game, and then LSU goes for 2 instead of the tie, gets it, and wins. This Bama team could easily be undefeated. And then Tennessee just trying to claim that the head-to-head makes all the difference. I'm like, no, you played at home, and you should have lost, and you got lucky to walk away with a win. Tennessee has no argument here. But
I'm with you. Tennessee has no argument. They have no reason to be mad they're not in the top four. They do not deserve to be in the top four. They shouldn't be in the top four with how they've played. And I'll give you. I'm with you on the fact that Alabama is better than Ohio State. However, if the committee was to go back now and put a 2-loss Alabama in ahead of a 1-loss Ohio State, excuse me, everything would have been all fucked. Everything would have been all fucked. And this is why we need the 12-team format. This is why we need the 12-team format, because Alabama is still, honest to God, and I hate Alabama. You know I hate Alabama more than anything, Noah. Well, not more than Dallas or the Yankees or anything like that. But I hate Alabama. But still, they're probably the number 2 team in the country. They
probably.
I think they're better than Michigan. I don't think they're better than Georgia. But theoretically speaking, they're the number 2 team in the country when it comes to whoever can win on any given Saturday. And so that's why I think this 12-team playoff is going to improve. I also think NIL is going to continue to flatten the curve and make college football a little bit more parity, and so that we can have some of these more quote-unquote big upset losses with these more, how you say, grandfathered in schools that have just been so good with recruiting lately. But I mean, with Georgia just continuing to triumph, TCU showing what they're made of, NIL is continuing to have an impact on this year. And I don't think that's something that needs. I don't think that's something that should be lost on this season. NIL has a big impact on how this Final Four is playing out. I will believe that and take that to the grave with me.
All right, so AJ, I got two one realistic and one hypothetical here for you here, but just want to say with our matchups here, Michigan, TCU, who's winning?
TCU.
I'm rooting my ass off for TCU. I think Michigan's winning, unfortunately, and I'm going to be pissed about it.
I really.
Ann Arbor's a whore.
Ann Arbor is a whore. They're an absolute whore. That's a terrible place to play. But besides that, that's going to be the Fiesta Bowl, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That is the Fiesta Bowl, and then the Peach Bowl. Georgia, Ohio State. Who you got in that one?
Georgia, Ohio State. Give me Georgia every day of the week. That defense is still disgusting. That offense is absolutely ridiculous. And somehow the 75-year-old Stetson Bennett is going to be drafted to the NFL, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Stetson Bennett, but
close enough.
You were close. Yeah. Okay. So I agree. I've got Georgia, Michigan in the final. You've got Georgia, TCU. Who do you have winning the national championship this year?
TCU. I understand the hate I am going to get for this, but let me explain. Let me explain. All right? The second half of this season, the TCU defense came alive, brother. They came alive. And they were able to stop what they needed to stop and do what they needed to do. I am not saying that they can do that against Georgia, but I am saying that offense is high-powered enough in order to keep it close. I think... Listen, I might be a little off with saying TCU will win the whole thing. I do think we will see a TCU-Georgia national championship game. I think that spread will come out at about 6.5 points. I think TCU covers that. And with that logic, I got to continue with TCU continuing on the Cinderella run. I think TCU is going to come out and prove that you don't need all the 5 stars, you don't need all the big names. You just need a solid, cohesive team in order to win the college football national championship. And I think they prove it here right now. Was I concerned watching the K-State game? Absolutely. Absolutely I was. That was a terrible
K-State's a good
performance.
Team, though. K-State's a good team.
But K-State is not better than Georgia. K-State is not better than Michigan.
You're right.
And so that does bring me some worry when it comes to TCU. But I will, honest to God, I will put those worries aside. Because I believe we kind of are looking at a Bengals team of last year, a young team, a team that doesn't know what they should be. TCU should not have been a good team this year. And yet here we are, looking at a berth in the college playoffs, Give me TCU. I've rode the TCU train all season. I'm going to continue to hop on it. Be the conductor. Get me a goddamn hat.
You've been faithful and on TCU all season before they were even in the top 25 rankings. AJ. I do have to put that respect on your name there. You've been on TCU since before they were even in the rankings, before they were doing anything. You've been big on TCU.
I told you this team is a good squad. They are willing to perform, and I think they are going to continue to perform past their max. I think their ceiling is the national championship game. And obviously that is the ceiling of any team, but I think that is their ceiling. Whether they win it or not, I need to look deeper into the numbers against Georgia, because I do think Georgia is making that game no matter what. But what are your thoughts, though, bro? What do you have? TCU, Michigan. What are you thinking?
Well, I got Michigan winning that game in a close one by a touchdown or less. And then a Georgia-Michigan national championship where I think Georgia wins by 2 or 3 scores.
We have a guy that comes on the show every once in a while, Patty Ice, and he's a big Michigan guy. And I watched the game with him last night, and he said it is an honor to get into the opportunity to lose to Georgia in the national championship. So shout out for some Michigan fans being somewhat realistic.
Yeah. Well, AJ, I want to do one quick rapid fire.
Let me hear it.
I've got the bracket up in front of me. If it was a 12 team this year, it won't be this year. It won't be next year. Year after, we're going to have the 12 team. We're going zero analysis or anything like that. I just want to know who you have winning. I'm going to run through the games.
Let me hear it.
So Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Utah would get the 4 first round buys in that order. We covered that already. So 8-9 matchup.
All right.
Tennessee and Kansas State. Who you got winning that one?
Tennessee easy by 20.
Despite Hendon Hooker being out?
Yeah. Tennessee by 20.
Okay.
That offense is too disgusting to put up less points.
Okay, and I don't even feel like I need to ask this one, but TCU Tulane
in a fucking blowout of the century. The first time a team covers by 50.5.
Well, it's happened before, but so I'm taking you. But you're taking TCU.
Yeah, TCU in that one.
Alabama USC. Who you got?
Alabama. Love USC, but Alabama.
God,
every time.
Yeah, I was going to be upset if you picked USC.
I'm a degenerate. I'm not delusional.
Okay, and in a rematch game with this one, Ohio State, Penn State.
Ohio State
takes it again.
Every single time.
Okay, so then moving on to the second round here. Tennessee, Georgia. In another rematch game. Who's winning that one?
Give me Georgia minus 2.5. They win that one by the field goal.
All right.
Where are you at with that game?
Yeah, I think Georgia spanks Tennessee if they play them again, but just like they did the first time. Next one, Utah, TCU.
Utah is good against Pac-12 teams. Pac-12 teams have been good against Pac-12 teams. Not good against ranked teams. Give me TCU every single day of the week there.
All right, here's a tricky one then. Alabama, Michigan.
Alabama. Give me Alabama every single time. And that one I'm just going off of coaching experience. I trust Saban any given day of the week more than I trust Harbaugh.
Okay, and then Ohio State versus Clemson.
Ohio State, Clemson is fraud. They've been fraud since day one.
Okay, so if we're playing the 12-team format, just to clarify, in case you haven't been tracking along, if you're a little bit drunk, maybe you're not. So AJ's got Georgia versus TCU and Alabama versus Ohio State. So Georgia, Bama, Alabama.
The goddamn top 4.
No.
Different matchups.
Just Alabama beat Michigan to get here. Okay. So, AJ,
fair.
Just to wrap it up here. Georgia, TCU. Who's winning?
TCU.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to pick TCU to win regardless. You like them to win. Okay, I get that. Alabama, Ohio State. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Who's winning?
It's not a tough one. You go with the team with more talent, and that is Alabama. I love Ohio State and what they've been able to do this year, but Alabama just has more talent in general. You would give me Alabama this year over Ohio State for your 12-team format.
Okay, and then AJ, I'm assuming you're picking TCU to beat Bama in the championship then?
Not only if this was a 12-team would TCU play Bama, but TCU would, theoretically put the strap on to go ahead and take on Bama.
All right. Do I dare give my picks quickly for that before we wrap up here?
Run real quick. I know we got to sign off here soon.
So, because Hendon Hooker being injured, possibly out, I'm taking Kansas State to beat Tennessee in that 8-9 there.
I assumed.
To go on to play Georgia. It doesn't really matter because Georgia's going to blow out either of those two teams. TCU's a no-brainer against Tulane. I'm not even thinking twice about that.
No.
However, I am leaning slightly towards Utah to beat TCU. You know, I've been big on Utah. My two Pac-12 teams, I've been
so disappointing, Noah. You can't.
They won the conference. Who the hell cares? My two Pac-12 teams I've been big on all season, Utah and Oregon State, both finishing in the top 15 in the rankings. So, you know, it's fine. I think Utah edges out TCU very narrowly there in that matchup. Alabama blows the brakes off of USC, plays Michigan. I think Alabama gets a very narrow win over Michigan. Move into that Final Four. So we got Georgia, Utah, Alabama. Ohio State, I think, beats Penn State a second time in a row. Even if they lose, Clemson has no chance against either of those teams. And then, like you said, AJ, I would take Alabama over Ohio State. I don't think Utah is good enough to beat Georgia. I've got a Georgia-Alabama championship SEC. Ooh. And I hate it. I hate that I'm saying that. I hate that I bring that to fruition. But you know, what have we had for the past 5 years? An all SEC championship game. It's just more often than not the two best teams in the country are both in the SEC, and you know that's a reality, and people hate it. And you know what? It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. We'll see what NIL does to that. Noah, I know we got to get out of here right now. Do you have anything else to say about college football Final Four or any of the potential 12 playoff teams that will happen in 2 years?
Oh, you know, I think Michigan TCU is going to be a decent game. I think Alabama Ohio State Georgia Ohio State should be a good game. I'm kind of excited because it feels like this year we don't have a wimp in there. I think it would have been even better to have Alabama in there and get Georgia, Alabama usually don't meet in the regular season and then meet in the SEC championship game. And we never got Georgia, Alabama this year. I was kind of hoping for that, but it is what it is. I think we have 4 very strong teams. I'm excited about that. TCU probably the weakest out of the 4, but everybody's going to be rooting for TCU, including myself.
Yeah.
Because they are not the blue blood, and I can't wait until we get to this 12-game playoff or 12-team playoff because that's going to be a lot of fun.
So much more exciting, so much more fun to cover. No, it's going to be great. Again, thank you for listening and watching. I'm the Brofect1 AJ. That is the Money Train. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe down below. We're at 200 subscribers now. I would like to thank every one of those 200 subscribers for continuing to support us and our degenerate ways as we continue to move on through all of the seasons in sports. We'll be coming out with hockey and college basketball later this week. We got some takes on that. And look out for our college football picks. We'll have the Bulls out for you. Don't you worry. We got every Bull pick. With that being said, I'm the Brofect1 AJ. That's the Money Train. Noah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes. Got it.